Wherein the Folk is not and should not be viewed as a news source. Any names, places, or likenesses mentioned are purely fictional, and any information discussed is purely speculative. Guest opinions are their own and do not reflect those of anyone else. Wherein the Folk is not responsible for content accuracy of any stories that are told or what people do with these stories. This show is vulgar, sometimes graphic, and due to its content, it should not be viewed by anyone actually.
Welcome to another episode of Wherein the Folk. Today I'm joined by the man with the plan, Tully, and the woman with the plan, Morgana, and I am Cecil. And some people call me Vitamin C, so if you're looking for your daily injection, welcome. Today we're going to be covering the weird news from across the world and some weird stuff everybody likes to see. But I always like to get started when something happens to me at a fast food restaurant. And I want to tell you guys about this. This was a win. I went to Popeyes yesterday.
I'm ready.
I went to Popeyes yesterday. That was a win in itself. Mm-hmm. But I ordered a 2-piece meal. So I pulled up to the window. I sat there for 25 minutes. Don't get me wrong. Literally 5 minutes. Just sitting there, and I was chilling, listening to podcasts. And they brought my food, gave me a plastic bag. I was like, oh, thank you. When I was getting ready to pull out, they reached me another plastic bag and 2 paper bags. And I was like, oh, okay. So I took them and I drove off. So I got a 2-piece chicken meal. And in addition to that, I got a box full of popcorn shrimp, 6 wings, and 2 chicken sandwiches, beans and rice, and I think that was it for $14.85.
I didn't eat that.
Now I was like, maybe they just did that because I had to sit there so long and I didn't bitch and complain about it. But then Mandy pointed out to me that the person behind me was probably pretty pissed off. So,
yeah, dude, that's like $30 worth of food these days.
So. I didn't think nothing about it. I was like, oh, that's pretty nice of them. That never happens to me, ever. So it was pretty cool.
Good. You didn't eat it all in one sitting, did you?
No, hell no. No.
Whatever you got to tell yourself.
Hey, Landa. Well, I have a really cute Friday feel good before we get started into all the depressing stuff. Okay, I'm going to present because you got to see this too. All right. Screen. So, the world's tallest and smallest dogs met up for a play date.
Oh.
So, and they both have world records for their size. Okay, so Pearl is the world's shortest living dog. And then you have Reginald, who is the world's tallest living dog. And like I said, that's according to the Guinness Book of Records. And I mean, look at him. I mean, his feet are as big as that puppy.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool. Just, and Pearl, the Chihuahua, is from
hey, Stephen.
Florida. And then Reginald is from Oregon. So I mean, they put some distance out to get together and see each other. So and the thing is, they both weighed 1 ounce at birth.
So
pretty cool.
That is a Friday feel good.
Yeah, I thought so. So anyway, all right, I'll let y'all have it back now. We can talk about the depressing and crazy stuff now.
If Mandy's seen that dog, she does like that little girl on TikTok. Can I pet that dog? Can I pet that dog?
No, does the same thing.
When we went to watch Tom Green live in at Comedy Off Broadway, he takes his dog with him everywhere he goes. And that's all I heard the whole time. I really want to pet that dog. Can I pet that dog?
Hey, Stephen.
Well, you may have to play the video for this one, Cecil, but I did bring a Friday feel good. Thank you very much.
All right.
The feel good is that a Florida man rescued an alligator.
Oh,
And there's just a little bit of a background here. A barefoot man wrestles a giant alligator on I-95 near Jacksonville, Florida. The sheriff's office teamed up with Fish and Wildlife, Florida Highway Patrol, and a local alligator wrangler after a large gator was spotted crossing the interstate. So this guy's name is Mike Dragich, otherwise known as the Blue Collar Brawler. But yeah, check this out. He runs up. The police look flabbergasted.
Never in my wildest dreams.
Yeah, and if you notice, like he comes running up barefoot.
Oh, yeah, dude.
That's Florida man, if I've ever seen it.
You know, I never wanted to move back to Florida in my entire life until I watched this video. I'm like, you know what? It's about time to make the move.
The Blue Collar Brawler.
Wow. I love it. Love it. Love it.
I think they're more
All right.
hillbilly than we are anymore.
You know, there are so many. If there is a true melting pot in this country, it's probably Florida.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, they've got people of all walks, and they're rednecks.
Yes. Yeah. Well, there's the dude on YouTube. I forget what his name is. It's the guy. I think his name's Python Cowboy on YouTube, but he hunts all the invasive species.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy to watch him go out and do the iguana stuff and the snake stuff. But he makes not only does the government pay him to take them out and bring their corpses in, but he also makes like boots and wallets and stuff out of the hides. It's really cool.
I like to think that this guy knew when we lived down there is the reason there's so many snakes down there now.
But they traced it back to there was I don't know if it was a dude, but there was like an estate or a farm. They had a big hurricane and he had tons of animals like this, including aquariums.
Yeah.
And they traced most of the invasiveness going on back to that, even the cichlids.
This guy's name was Snake Man. He used to drive around in a van and he lived out in the Glades. We're close to the Glades. We used to go visit him. I don't know what Dad was buying off of him, but I can imagine it was legal. And he used to ride around with a huge python on his dashboard named Elvira. And in the back was cages full of like snakes and lizards and stuff.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Only
That's,
in Florida.
And you know, no, that is not a true statement. They have migrated because over in Mobile, the one that they're having so many problems with are lionfish, because that water down on the Mobile Bay is brackish. So, you know, people turn them loose because they don't realize how big they get and the fact that you can't put anything else in with them. So they just don't want to kill them. So they're just like, oh, we'll turn it loose.
Yeah.
And now they're taking out the native fish and stuff.
Yep. That's how the cichlids are too. The cichlids, well, I've even seen, the little algae eaters that you can buy.
Yeah.
Those things get like this.
Yes.
And fully armored. Like you couldn't stab them if you wanted to.
I bet.
And they also can breathe air.
Yeah.
You can actually take them out of the tank and they will sit there and breathe air just like any other animal. So, they've got it made in a lot of ways.
What happens if you pour salt on them?
I don't know.
Never tried that. and they say you cannot kill those algae eaters, and that is an untrue statement. I have killed several.
Oh yeah.
Not intentionally.
If you're trying to keep them in the house, they won't live. But you throw them in a pond or something, and they thrive.
Absolutely.
It just so happens I know somebody that lives like right on a pond.
Yeah.
And they're not very expensive.
There you go.
Well, it wouldn't be me that you'd have to be dealing with for that one. our buddy, our crackhead buddy.
So, did you hear another good news one is did you hear about Antarctica?
I think I got it in there.
Yes, you do. But I thought that was I'm going to stay on the feel good for a minute.
Oh, let's do it.
So, the ice sheets are growing for the first time in decades in Antarctica. Said that.
I was just trying to get out of the screen.
Oh, okay. So, mass changes across the Antarctic ice sheet have been detected using satellite gravimetry, revealing significant instabilities in major glacier basins of eastern Antarctica, as well as across the Soya's entire ice sheet.
You know, it says northern Antarctica, though.
Yes, there you go. So, the AIS plays a major role in the global sea level rise, but since March of 2002, the GRACE project or mission and its successor, GRACE-FO, which is GRACE Follow-On, have provided valuable data to monitor changes in the ice mass. Previous studies have consistently shown a long-term trend towards loss, particularly in Western Antarctica and in the peninsula, while the glaciers in East Antarctica were relatively stable. However, a recent study led by Dr. Wang and Professor Shin of Tongji University have found a surprising shift between 2021 and 2023. The AIS has experienced a record-breaking increase in overall mass. So, notably, 4 major glaciers in the Wilkes Land, Queen Mary Land region of East Antarctica reversed their previous patterns of accelerated mass loss from 2011 to 2020 and instead showed significant mass gain from 21 to 23. And then from 2002 to 2010, the AIS experienced a mass loss with a change rate of minus 73.79 a year, which nearly doubled to 142 between 2011 and 2020. So this accelerated mass loss was primarily related to intensified mass depletion of the West Antarctic region of East Antarctica. I totally got that backwards. Anyway, so in contrast, during 21 to 23, it exerted a negative contribution, offsetting the global mean sea level rise. So, okay, maybe there's global warming, but Antarctica is showing a reverse in that.
This reminds me of that the whenever South Park was trolling Al Gore all the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let me find this meme. Hang on. You go ahead.
But I mean, that goes to show you, like, I mean, yeah, we have an impact. I know we do. There's no doubt.
We do.
The Earth has a way of taking care of itself. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, personally, I'm not a scientist, although I convey that I am through my aurora. But I mean, like, this right here, this should show that, yeah, because they were like, the ice sheets are going to melt in the Earth, and you're going to be able to swim in the ocean in Clay County, Kentucky. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, I've got the meme pulled up. It says, in 1948, when Al Gore was born, Earth had 130,000 glaciers. Today, just 73 years later, only 130,000 glaciers remain. And there's another one that says, I predict the ice caps will melt by 2014, as a quote. And then there's another one, the snows of Kilimanjaro will be gone within a decade. In 2006, it's still there.
Yeah.
But it's very akin to, you know, it's like we talked about, I think, last show. Before all of this, there was the ice age was coming, and then it was acid rain.
Now it's climate change, which they had to change it to climate change because you can't disprove climate change.
Well, people caught on to it. Like, people finally started catching on to, okay, every decade it's something different.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
and I do agree with you, because, like I said, we've talked about this before. We definitely impact the environment.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
You know, but the Earth has always gone through cooling and warming stages.
Yes.
Always. It's because, it's scientifically proven. So, while, yeah, we could probably do better, I'm more concerned about the trash we're putting out into the world than I am warming.
Or
let's get the plastic out of our water.
Yeah, or firing Katy Perry into space, or what was the other thing recently?
Tully and I used to be in a band called We the Plague, and there was a reason that I came up with that name. It's because we are like a parasite on the earth. And eventually, if we get to where we impact it too much, I feel like the earth is going to go ahead and take its dewormer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's going to do a day after tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's just going to come in and wipe it loose and say, okay.
I remember the other thing. It was them plowing a 4-lane highway through the Amazon forest for the climate retreat.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was like, that tells me everything I need to know.
Because you're going to need that road after that climate retreat's over. That's been missing a 4-lane highway for all these years.
And then everybody flies private jets there. Like that. Yep. I don't know. Like that. I don't know. Yeah. I think it's about money.
Money. Oh, yeah. Everything. So.
What's up, Nick? I was just thinking about you. I hadn't seen you in a while.
Good.
All right. All right. Somebody else.
Well, we can riff on the power outages for a minute.
Yeah.
We got some videos and stuff, but there's been a bunch of major blackouts this year. Most recently, a couple of days ago, Spain and Portugal lost all their power, complete blackout. Last week, we didn't get to cover it, but Puerto Rico was completely blacked out. No electricity, no power, anything.
Island-wide.
Chile, 2 months ago, was blacked out. Pakistan had a blackout. Cuba suffered a nationwide blackout. And I've heard rumblings. I couldn't verify this because they are highly censored, but I've heard that China is having major blackouts. And I was just thinking about this, and we live in the space age where you would think there would be backup after backup after backup of our power grids. But one thing that we've been seeing a lot of are sun anomalies. I don't think anybody would not laugh in that situation, Nick. I just think it depends on what day of the week it is on whether Cecil's going to get mad at that or not. But yeah, there's been sun anomalies over the past week, objects going in and out of the sun. If you remember, what was that? Like 6 months ago, it looked like some object was taking power from the sun. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Well, that's been happening for a while. A few years ago, they had where they were filming the sun and it shot out the plasma, I guess.
Yeah.
On that machine, you can see was something from the sun.
Yeah, queue up a couple of those sun anomaly videos. Let's check those out first.
I was looking through these 200 fucking videos to see which ones.
No, it's in the same section as the articles.
Yeah, I know. I'm just messing. I guess that's what tomorrow's episode will be. We probably need to go through these videos.
Yeah, there's more than that. I'll need to add some, but yeah, we can have a video session tomorrow.
Yeah, those play really well for audio only.
Yeah, they do. For in some cases, there's people we'll describe it to the blind people.
All right, so here's one. Let's go ahead and what's it doing?
Well,
it did nothing.
I think that object is what.
Oh,
so people were looking at the sun, and there's a couple different views of this. I think the next one is a negative view. Because you can't just point regular telescopes at the sun.
Mm-hmm.
But the next one I think is the negative view, and then the third one is somebody talking about it.
I mean, we have a lot of negative views on things. Should we really? That's a shitty joke. Let's see.
You ain't lying. So, like, the middle would be the sun, and then there's that object. And
It's a
people,
planet.
you can imagine people in the comments are like Nibiru and talking about the whatever it was that was drawing power from the sun. And then I think the third video is somebody talking about it, and they may there may be a different video, but
Okay, I want to say on that one that anything going between us and the sun is going to affect us gravitationally, I would think.
Yeah.
Badly. Yeah.
Well, and people over the last week have also been saying that the sun looks different even outside. I think I mentioned that to you all.
Yeah, I think you said something.
People were saying it looks more like the 90s sun.
The 90s sun.
Yeah.
Black hole sun.
Everybody said that
Black hole sun.
Everybody always says that the sun looked different in the 90s, like more soft.
Oh yeah, I don't know everything
because we had more smog.
I remember
maybe
hard. Let's go ahead and watch this. See what this is about. Play
in front of the sun this morning, and of course, like usual, they're trying to hide it. And this whole thing made people look farther into all of their scans, and they find a whole bunch of footage where they're just straight up turning it off when weird things start happening. And it's actually ridiculous because while this stuff was going on, the Schumann frequency at the same exact time was going insane. I mean, it's crazy. We have these solar flares and we have these auroras going crazy where no one ever sees them while these weird planetary bodies are just flying around the sky. And before the simple-minded try to tell me it's a lunar eclipse, yeah, there is no lunar eclipse or partial lunar eclipse this April, and not until September, actually. I mean, beside that, do y'all really think that the moon's what's causing the sun and vice versa to eclipse? This was the sky map at the exact time it happened, and of course, the sun is nowhere near the moon. Like it was on April 28th, and y'all can see how fast the thing was moving. And apparently, when crazy things are going on, they are always cutting the feed on these certain cameras, just gone. People are gonna find out at some point, there is way more than just the sun and the moon in the sky. You see the sun over here, but you got that thing right in the sky. They call them the blue and the red Kachina. See, two lens flares. And I almost wonder if these Kachinas are the nodes that people speak of, making them blank out their own equipment. At some point, we got to realize that everything they have told us and showed us is a complete lie, and we have no idea how things really work.
Well, we knew that.
Yeah, that's real Moon Henry. If you want to go check him out. Yeah, I mean that's weird. If you believe in space and planets, it looks like a planet.
Mm-hmm. At the bare minimum, some kind of crazy satellite we don't know about.
Yeah. I wish we could get us like a idea of how big it is, because I guess the thing showed it being huge, but
you can't know, like you don't know whether. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, look at my wart.
And this may be something interesting to bring up when we talk to David too. Oh
crap, that's coming up.
Yeah, here in a couple of weeks. But the last video about this, so Glamham, who we've watched a few of her videos in the past, she detected another large magnetic anomaly, and NASA confirmed this one. So that could also be playing in. I mean, that could be a result of the sun stuff, but it could also be playing into the blackout scenarios.
Okay, let's see what's going on.
NASA has its eye on a giant magnetic anomaly right over our island. They've been monitoring it for a while, just like me. By the way, this video is for entertainment purposes only. We're just having fun, exploring why there's a giant magnetic anomaly right here. NASA says it's natural, caused by swirling molten iron in Earth's core and a massive structure under Africa called the Large Low Shear Velocity Province. I mean, that's probably it, but Let's move on. NASA also found magnetic portals. Yes, portals, their words, not mine. They call them flux transfer events.
The flux
And they're like
capacitor.
temporary doorways between the Earth and the sun's magnetic fields. Here's how that works. Earth has this giant invisible bubble made of magnetic field lines and a protective shield, and the sun has one. And sometimes these magnetic field lines high five and a little bridge
I don't like the way that looks.
like opens up where charged particles from the sun can go directly to Earth. Apparently, these portals open about every 8 minutes, so they're kind of busy. When a big surge of these solar particles gets through, there are consequences, like satellites flying over the area can malfunction because of the intense radiation. Earth's magnetic shield is weaker and the Van Allen radiation belt dips closer to Earth. It is so dicey that the Hubble telescope has to shut itself off to avoid frying. And sometimes these solar storms can even impact our power grids. On the bright side, the sneaky charged particles can create auroras when they hit Earth's upper atmosphere. But back to our island. You all remember the blob? Showed up on Ventusky's wave height model, but there were no high waves, and the blob kept appearing, always around extreme weather events in places like Cape Town. I'm sure it was just a coincidence and the blob was just a glitch. But if the blob was a glitch, hanging out near Bouvet Island, by the way, what if this magnetic anomaly was causing the glitch? Mega speculating here. What if there's an energy leak beneath Bouvet Island causing this disturbance? Something's resisting the magnetic field, like how heat would melt a thin spot in ice. What if there's something beneath Bouvet, or the ice, melting the magnetic field? Again, my own insane theory, pure entertainment. And how entertaining would it be if there was a megastructure buried deep beneath Bouvet Island, like there literally was in Aliens versus Predator? It's all sci-fi because theoretical physics does talk about wormholes and shortcuts through space-time. What if the weak magnetic spot is like a thin place in reality where dimensions overlap? A real glitch in the matrix. String theory says there are more dimensions than we can see. What if the anomaly is like a bridge to one of those dimensions? A place where the fabric of space-time is thinner? Or is it really just a big giant rock beneath Africa causing all the trouble? What do you think about these entertaining concepts? All I know is that right in the middle of all of this is our little island. I'll see you in the comment.
And that, what's her name?
Glamham.
Glanham. Go check out Glanham 2.0. I'm guessing they iced the other channel. But
Yeah.
So what she's saying is when our magnetic energies touch tips, it creates a portal.
Yes.
Okay. It makes sense.
Or at the very least causes huge magnetic disturbances that can cause blackouts. But if you look through, so she's an independent researcher, and if you look through these articles about all these blackouts, people are just like, don't know. We don't know what's happening.
Yeah. It is what it is. I mean, it's I don't know. It's a matter of time before it happens here, right? It has to. Like blackouts happen in like California quite often. Texas is on its own grid though. And we're on the grid for like the Carolinas, right? Like that's where. So I mean, it wouldn't take a whole lot.
Well, just talking about like emergency systems or backup systems, you know, Pittsburgh's in the dark right now, and they got hit by a storm, and they were told the power may not be back on for 7 days.
Yeah, and with all these storms coming through, which the storms do seem to be heavy, man.
Tactical.
Yeah, they're nuts. It's
I saw something the other day, and I'm not saying you can't see this anywhere, but I saw something that I've never seen in this area.
what?
So it was right before one of the big storms, 30 minutes before. You know how like sometimes in the summer it'll heat lightning?
Yeah.
So it was like that. You know, on the 4th of July when it's cloudy and you can see all the flashes going off in the sky.
Yeah.
It looked like that, and there was a low hertz thunder that never stopped for 30 minutes.
Yeah, we have that here all the time. It's been crazy, and like, don't let us not forget the thunder snow that occurred this year or the end of last year. Like, I've never heard that before in my life. Thunder and lightning with snow.
Yeah,
Wow.
the sky looked like, I don't know, it looked like Syria. You know what I mean? It looked like Cincinnati was being bombed, is what it looked like.
It's really cool to watch because I've seen it once or twice down here because I usually go to work before daylight. So you can see the clouds and everything, that it's overcast, and then you'll start seeing pinks and purples and everything just kind of.
Yeah. It was nuts.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me want to move really close to Mammoth Cave, so when something finally pops off, I can just drive my vehicle straight into Mammoth Cave.
God, I met somebody this week that had never heard of Missing 411.
Really?
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And they were talking about a weird experience they had at National Park in Santa Fe.
Did they go missing?
Nope.
But yeah, I mean, it would have been nice to talk to that guy, but we don't have enough viewers.
Yeah. Ever since I started, or ever since we started talking about this, I see people shredding him on the internet now. But I don't know what we want to. Don't know what I want to get into.
Ooh,
Anything?
the bionic contact lenses.
Hit it.
Ooh,
I thought it was crazy.
Yeah. So there's this new contact lens that could improve human vision beyond 2020 and enhances eyesight for life. They're calling it a bionic contact lens. It's an advanced artificial lens designed to replace the natural lens in the eye. And they're claiming that it offers superior vision beyond 2020, reduces eye strain, and prevents conditions like cataracts and glaucoma. So it was developed by Ocumetrics Technology Corporation in Canada, and says that it may also enable features such as smartphone projection and slow drug delivery, though that comes with a high initial cost. Imagine like seeing fine details like letters on a sign or a clock style from 30 feet away instead of just 10. So the bionic lens makes this possible by overcoming the limitations of the human lens, which restricts how far we can see. And unlike natural lenses, the bionic lens uses 1/100th of the energy. So it eliminates eye strain, and it allows prolonged focus without discomfort or damage to the vision.
This is going to be like that Black Mirror episode where you get it, and then 2 months later it starts showing ads, and you can't get away from them.
Yep.
And they're like, "Well, for $50 a month, you can go ad free on your eye lenses."
That's right.
That's the 10 feet away thing is funny to me because I can see when a comment pops up. I have a monitor. All right, here's my camera, and I have a monitor right here, and I have to put my glasses on to see this 1.5 foot distance.
See, though, I'm going to tell you though, Cecil, the same. I have to have my glasses on when we're talking to read this stuff, but I can look across my room and read every title to every book on that shelf because I'm farsighted. I mean, my vision across the room is 20/20.
No.
So yeah, my glasses are actually bifocals, and the top half are clear glass, so that I don't have to take them on and off.
No, I'm just see.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would totally do something like that where they charge you to play.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely. And I've always jokingly said if they ever made Bluetooth implantable, I'd probably be the first person in line. But the same thing, I could just see at 2 a.m. getting radio commercials in my Bluetooth, So
yeah.
That is the scariest Black Mirror episode, I think, too, by the way. They got some pretty crazy ones, but that one in particular was nuts.
Yeah.
Because it will save her life. Spoiler alert. So they do something to her brain to keep her alive, but they have to pay a monthly subscription fee. And then she starts talking in ads, and they have to pay more to get premium. Like, it was nuts, dude.
That literally would be like how this would go, though.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Or what was it? Repo Man, the one with what's his name, where you could finance organs
Repo,
and stuff.
the genetic opera.
Yeah. You know, they come back and get your heart because you didn't pay it off, and yeah.
Well, oh no, they made an actual Repo Man too, based off of Genetic Opera, I think. But every time anybody says Repo Man, I think of Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez.
That's always going to be my go-to, also. Yeah. But yeah.
Well, Emilio, not Charlie, but I mean,
there was one true crime that I threw in here. So this dude kicked a horse. He was a veterinarian, and they found him dead in Lake Mead after he kicked the horse. So a Nevada veterinarian who was allegedly seen kicking a horse that went viral on social media, and he was then reported missing, was found dead near Las Vegas. Authorities discovered the body of Dr. Sean Frainer, 56. This was back on April 18th, near the Boulder Islands at Lake Mead. And according to the Las Vegas Journal, authorities, or I guess that was that first part was according to the Journal. Authorities did not announce a cause or manner of death. Who was reported missing 2 weeks prior to that. According to the outlets, he was identified using dental records. The National Park Service had been leading an expansive search for him, partnering with the Department of Wildlife volunteers. According to the outlets, a missing persons report released stated they were looking for Frainer because he left behind his wallet, keys, and a cell phone inside his occupied truck that was found at Lake Mead. His father said that his son did not have a history of medical or mental health conditions and has never made any threats to hurt himself or anyone else. But that's obviously not true because he kicked the shit out of a horse. But yeah, that actually happened days after a video of him kicking the horse started blowing up on social media.
3 things could have happened. 1, he did it to himself. 2, the horse got revenge. Or 3, PETA's out of control.
Well, this says that he was called there to the horse to administer anesthetic shots.
Okay.
The property owner said that he heard his mother yell, "Oh my God, he just kicked him. Oh my God, he's choking." He wrapped the horse around his neck 3 times and kicked him in the head. He said that the horse was treated for abrasions to the skull and other injuries. So I'm guessing like wrapped the reins around its head and kicked it.
This guy beat the hell out of a horse. What for?
I don't know.
He said it was choking and that he was trying to get it in a better position.
Oh yeah. So, but yeah, the guy who owned the farm, he's like, "I'm not sorry for standing up for my horse. I am their voice and will continue to be." Obviously, people care very deeply for their animals.
My thing was, he saving the horse or was he beating it?
He was there to administer anesthetic shots, and it doesn't say much more than that.
But said he did make the comment that he did not blatantly haul off and kick the horse, as it appears. That wasn't his intention, but it was simply done to get the horse into a better position so he could breathe and get up and move so I could try again to anesthetize. I mean.
It sounds like the horse wasn't getting up and he got pissed off and kicked it.
Could be, but you know, you just never know, especially around that area. Like that guy could have been connected, or somebody that watched the video is just like,
oh, hell no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I will tell you, my bad, sorry, my mom. So, but yeah, I will hurt you over one of my animals. Yes, my animals are with me and they like me all the time. You may not.
My dogs are watchdogs. Watch this. Who is that? They didn't do it. They know I'm they won't bark whenever they know I'm doing this.
Well, I guess since we've only got a few more minutes, I'll hit this other really short true crime that's been on here for a minute.
Yeah.
So a former New Jersey janitor was sentenced for contaminating school cafeteria food with bodily fluids, including feces and blood. It says that he was at an elementary school in New Jersey, and he was sentenced to 8 years in prison after he was convicted of contaminating food intended to be eaten by students and staff and possession. This really should have been in the headline. And possession of child pornography. So why wouldn't they put that in the headline? That's curious.
Right.
I know. But yeah, so they said that he was sentenced to 5 years in prison for the conduct and only 3 years for possession of child sexual abuse material to be served consecutively. So he literally got more time for shitting in the food than being in possession of, child pornography.
Well, taking a shit in the food is a bio attack. But child pornography is worse to me. There is such a rash of that going on. Like, I don't know if they've gotten better at catching people, but I see something every day of people around here getting busted for something to do with that constantly.
Yeah, and he was also charged with distribution of child pornography.
And see, I'm sorry, this is not popular, but he should be shot for that. Well,
there's no cure for that.
No.
There's not a cure. There's not behavioral anything that you can go through to get out of that. Yep. It's unfortunate, but he stated to the police that he was doing the devil's work.
For sure. That's what he was doing. I don't know, man. It's so sick, but I'm glad that it seems like they're ramping up to where they can catch these people better.
Maybe. I mean, there's certain people like politicians. Why haven't we gotten the names of anybody involved with Epstein? Or
because there are too many moneyed people involved.
Yeah. I completely agree. I'm super pissed off about it, actually, that they've never released any of that. It's all suspicious.
It might have already started, but isn't the Diddy trial coming up, or has it already started? It should be like soon.
I don't know. I heard just a month or so ago that he fired his attorney.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah.
He quit.
That was literally the dude involved in OJ's trial too, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah,
the chief of police in London, local news, the chief of police in London apparently resigned today over what happened to Mr. Harless back in December.
The what now?
The chief of police in London resigned.
Really?
Well.
What about the sheriff?
No, not yet. Well, not yet. It was the city cops that were involved in that whole thing. I think that's the rumor. I haven't looked into it. I heard somebody at work today say it. So we'll see what goes on with that. I didn't have time to look up because I had to take an after work 30-minute nap.
I guess tomorrow night at 8 we'll do a free for all. Maybe we can catch up on some of this news, play some videos, and get into. We've got. We never have watched any of the videos about the.
Let's put number behind how many videos you've sent us here.
That's not all of them.
Let's put number here. Let's see. Where's my numbers at? All right. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Oh, poopy. You have sent me 45 videos.
Hey, they're all conspiratorials.
Okay, I want to say, and y'all, okay, I have just complete bonehead moments occasionally. I've always admitted this. I mean, it's like my manager, I've been working on his computer, so I've been putting his password in back to back to back to back. and it's 1970 SS and then a bunch of other stuff. And I'm like, well, he really likes that car. And then it struck me yesterday. Those are his initials, and that's the year he was born. And I'm like, well, the 71 SS was a cool ass car. Okay.
Well,
But anyway, the whole space thing we've been talking about and Katy Perry, the first time we talked about it on here, I thought there was an astronaut named Katy Perry. I did not realize that there were actual celebrities on this damn thing.
Yeah,
She's got a flower. She held a flower.
Well, the video we can watch tomorrow, it talks about the payoff she got. I guess she talked to her mom,
Mm-hmm.
and I think she got paid something like $60 million.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, it kind of kills me. A couple of the celebrities that are giving her such a hard time, I'm like, y'all would have done it if you'd been offered.
Yeah,
You know,
it was
I mean,
either six. It was either $6 or $60 million to shut up, pretty much like that.
Yeah.
That reminds me of some kind of profession where you pay them to leave. What's that profession, Tolly? What is that profession?
Pay who to leave?
Nothing. Anyway, you don't pay them to stay. You pay them to leave. You know what I mean? You don't get.
I'm dense, dude.
Yeah.
You have bonehead moments too, huh?
Yeah. Are we talking about prostitutes? I don't know. I don't know what we're talking about. If not,
That's exactly what we're talking about. But anyway, what's going on Weird Awakenings tonight?
Dark cartoon conspiracies.
Oh,
you're gonna be there.
Totally got to be there.
Shit, I didn't do any research.
Just pull
You
up your old
probably
notes.
already know it.
Yeah, I can probably think of a couple. Why not? I'll pop on over. I still got coffee.
Cool.
If you're out there listening and you don't already follow us on Twitter, Rumble, BitChute. If you're unhinged, if you're on BitChute and you're listening to this, come to a place to where you can actually chat with us. Come over to Rumble.
I like how Nick's just throwing my business out there, like that. He's trying his mental defense.
But tomorrow night will be fun, lighthearted. We'll watch some videos. We'll laugh. Carry on.
Yep. And go over to Weird Realities Network on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and watch Weird Awakenings coming up at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. You can come back and check us out every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, right here, same place, same time. Same cookie people. Let's see. And tomorrow night we're going to have the free for all where we're going to watch Tolly's 200 videos they sent us and try to get through them all.
You remember when he used to talk about how far ahead I was on episode ideas?
Yeah. My favorite thing about this is when we decided to start doing the news every Friday, I was like, oh, cool, we'll do 3 topics each and whatever. But every week, Tully sends 20,000 words. He's like, look at this.
Yeah, it's just it's almost like the underbelly of the world. Like it's people are too focused on politics at this point to see some of this stuff.
And I read it every week. I read every word you send, unless you send 2, and then sometimes I may not get to that second one.
Yeah. It'd be nice tomorrow night too to get rid of some of the ones that have been hanging out there, like the Havana stuff.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. But go ahead and help us out. Give us a follow and a like, and tune back in every Friday and come and chat with us. Join our crazy folks like Nick and Landa and Steven and Easy Mac. Easy pops on,
Larry,
when Larry's popping on. I miss Larry. I hope Larry's all right. But thank you for watching us because we are watching you.
Peace.